This is the Transition News on Atlantic Television Network. The Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed March 25th for ruling on an application seeking to vacate the warrant issued for the arrest of the Chief of Staff to the Rivers State Governor, Edison Ehie. This is coming after Justice Emmanuel Nwite had on January 31st ordered Ehie's arrest in connection with the burning of the Rivers State House of Assembly on October 30th, 2023. The police in the charges alleged that Ehie and 5 others masterminded the bombing of the Rivers State House of Assembly amidst a plot to impeach the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the 5 others, Jinjiri Bala, Happy Benedict, Progress Joseph, Adoke Oyagiri, and Chibuike Peters, alias Rambo. The police had on January 24, 2024, arraigned the 5 others on 7 counts bordering on conspiracy, arson, attempted murder, and murder. All the proceedings, Ehie's lawyer, Oluwole Aladeboye, urged the court to set aside the warrant issued for the arrest of his client, Justice Nwite, after listening to the lawyer's arguments, adjourned the matter till March 25th. The Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has explained that the reason his administration chose peace is to sustain the achievements of the past governments and the ongoing development in the state. Fubara said his message of peace, sacrifices, and commitment has liberated the people of the state, who in return support his government. The governor made the assertion yesterday at a ceremony organized by the Okrika Council of Chiefs and the people of Okrika to honor the Amayanabo of Okochiri Kingdom, King Ateke Tom. Reacting on Atlantic Television Open Conversation, public affairs analyst Lucky Man Eglia issued a disposition of Governor Fubara as maintained.
Said he wants peace. If you want peace, you follow peace. You do what is right. Okay. The governor knows too well that.
Let me tell. I'm not. I beg. I need person to follow me up.
23 local government chairmen of the state and the entire people of Rivers State voted him in as the governor. The person that led his election, that campaigned for him, is the current minister of FCT, who was the former governor of Rivers State. If Wike does not mean well for Rivers people, he will not work towards achieving the goal for Fubara to be a governor. If they allow Fubara to contest with other candidates, Fubara will not win distinguished Senator Magnus Ngeye Abe in the pool. He made because he has a weight, and that weight is His Excellency here Wike, that worked towards making sure that he wins. And that weight is because Wike has his voice in the 23 local government of Rivers State. The local government chairman, they are strong men that has known the looks and crannies.
Candidate in the Bayelsa State governorship post, Timipri Silva, has accused the Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja of bias. This is coming after the APC and Silva demanded the outright disbandment of the tribunal headed by Justice Adekunle Adeleye and the reconstitution of another panel. The APC and its candidate Silva are challenging the re-election of Governor Duoye Diri and his deputy Lawrence Erujakbo in the November 11, 2023 governorship election, while the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared Diri the winner of the election after polling 175,196 votes to defeat his closest rival, Silva of the APC, who scored 110,103 votes. Dissatisfied, Silva and the APC approached the tribunal to challenge the declaration of Diri as the winner of the poll. Silva and his party had closed the case at the tribunal and last proceedings after calling their witnesses, including a former denying them the constitutional right for fair hearing as required by law. In a short ruling, Justice Adeleye adjourned the matter, saying there indefinitely and that they would wait for the decision of the Court of Appeal, President, on the allegations against the tribunal. The Nigerian Navy said it has set ablaze 4 illegal oil refining sites in Rivers, Bayelsa, and Ondo states, adding that the clampdown on oil thieves in the Niger Delta was part of the Operation Delta Sanity. The Navy said its ship, Pathfinder, discovered and deactivated a wooden boat conveying about 4,900 liters of illegally refined diesel along Bacana axis in Rivers State, and also discovered and destroyed an illegal refining site with a large oven of about 40,000 liters of suspected stolen crude oil at Brass River and Akasa General Area in Bayelsa State. Similarly, the troops discovered and set fire on another illegal refining site laden with equipment, drums and pits with a storage capacity of 30,000 liters of crude oil at Okrika in Rivers State, as well as deactivated and destroyed an illegal refining laden with equipment, the speedboats and drums of Baram and Agbura communities in Bayelsa State on March the 2nd. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Front and Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral M.B. Hassan, said the vessel was carrying about 2 million liters of suspected product without approval and had switched off its automatic identification system to avoid detection, while oil theft has been identified as one of the factors responsible for the inability of Nigeria to increase its daily oil productions. In view of the governorship primary election at the All Progressive Congress in Edo State may not be over, as one of the aspirants, Dennis Idahosa, has written to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, not to receive any other name as the candidate of the party apart from him, claiming that he won the primary election. The crisis started when the first primary conducted on February 17th threw up 3 winners, including Idahosa, while a rerun primary later conducted on February 22nd produced Monday Okpebolo as a winner with 12,433 votes ahead of Idahosa, who polled 6,541 votes. But Idahosa, who had rejected the outcome of the poll, the INEC chairman, through his lawyer, Chief Wale Olanipekun, demanded to be recognized as the Edo APC governorship candidate, adding that he won the February 17, 2024 exercise monitored by INEC, where he was declared the winner, and that there was no basis for the supplementary or rerun elections which Okpebolo won. He also argued that the February 22nd election was not a standalone election but a continuation of the February 17th exercise, so the results of the former exercise could not be jettisoned. Akwa Ibom state government is set to engage registered vendors to set up redemption centers where poor citizens availed food vouchers could purchase basic food items at the government discounted rates. Governor Umar Eno, making the revelation in Uyo Monday, explained that he intended the modalities aims at checking middlemen buying staple food, hoarding it to resell at cutthroat prices, addressing the hardship posed by soaring food prices. The governor of all at the All Nations Christian Ministry March 1st Sunday service said, "We want this food to get to the real people. If not properly managed, people will not buy it, hoard it, or resell it at a higher price again to the masses." He assured that the Ministry of Agriculture will make farm inputs available for cultivation and also will be ready to take off from farmers willing to sell surplus harvests. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has promoted 5 directors in the state civil service to the position of permanent secretaries. The appointment, which takes immediate effect, was announced in a statement that the new appointees are Somide Lateef Ayodele, permanent secretary in the Office of Infrastructure, Adebite Olakunle, permanent secretary, Office of Drainage Services, Emmanuel Audu, permanent secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Okilila Morenike, permanent secretary, Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, and Adeshino Sikiru, permanent secretary, Surveyor General's Office. Sanwo-Olu urged the new appointees to use their extensive backgrounds and expertise to improve the quality of services to the public, adding that their duties centered on enhancing public life. We'll take a short break. We'll return just after this break. Stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentary. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Good to have you back. Lagos State House of Assembly says the Lagos State Neighborhood Safety Agency is to prepare for the emergency of state police. The chairman, Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Information Security and Strategy, Stephen Ogundipe, gave the charge while on a working visit with other members of the committee, and also applauded the management of the Lagos State Neighborhood Safety Agency and the corps led by its general manager, Ifalode Onyekon, said that the agency has improved in terms of service delivery and continues to show the way to go about the community policing to other similar agencies. In his response, Oyekon thanked Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for his unalloyed commitment to the safety of lives and properties in the state, which, according to him, is the fuel spurring the agency's unwavering drive for excellence. The immediate past Ondo Deputy Governor Agboola Ajayi has said that he would emerge victorious at the governorship primary of the PDP, scheduled to hold next month. Ajayi, who declared his intention to contest as governor at a media parley in Akure, said that he would protest if the primaries were smirk of transparency. Ajayi said that his decision to govern the state was because he has the capacity and experience to keep everybody busy. The former deputy governor promised to build a railway system to link coastal communities to Kogi State if elected governor of the Sunshine State. He said that the state has no business to build a seaport, but to provide infrastructure in the riverine communities to attract private investors to build the seaport. Ajayi said that he understood how to run the state without relying on monthly allocations from the Federation account. He explained that the planned railway to link Kogi State will reduce the number of heavy-duty trucks on the highway. Health professionals under the aegis of National Union of Allied Health Professionals working in various health facilities owned by the Oyo State government on Monday, March 4th, embarked on a 7-day warning strike. The strike will involve laboratory scientists, physiotherapists, dental technologists, dental therapists, medical social workers, radiographers, nutritionists, dietitians, and health records and information managers in all general, state, and specialist teaching hospitals throughout the state. The practitioners include the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, the Nigerian Society of Physiotherapists, the Association of Dental Technologists of Nigeria, and the Nigerian Dental Therapists Association. Others are the Association of Medical Social Workers of Nigeria, Association of Radiographers of Nigeria, Association of Nutritionists and Dietitians, Association of Health Records and Information Management Practitioners of Nigeria, and the Oyo State Association of Hospitals and Administrative Pharmacists. The workers say that they decided on the warning strike due to the failure of the state government to exceed the demands which have been tabled before the various government committees in over 2 years. The 10-point demand put forward by the group and seeking urgent government intervention include the implementation of the new National Hazard Allowance for health professionals, the implementation of teaching allowances for NUAHP members who are deeply involved in the training of interns and students on clinical and research postings, adjustments of CONHES table for our members in the service of Oyo State and as already implemented by medical doctors since 2021. The demands also include urgent revamping and adequate funding of the state's health facilities, release of promotion letters for qualified members who participated in the last promotion exercise in the state, skipping of CONHES 10 on CONHES salary table as applicable to grade level 11 on grade level scale as awarded by National Industrial Court of Nigeria, restoration of call duty allowance for dental therapists, recruitment of more health workers and professionals to include members of NUAHP to replace those who are retiring and those who left the service of the state, among other demands. Addressing a press conference before the declaring of the strike at the Congress held Monday, NUAHP Unit Chairman Comrade Olarinwaju Ajani, flanked by others, said that the union would no longer allow her members to be sidelined and treated as inconsequential in the scheme of things in the health sector in the state. In view of the decision of the House of Representatives to call for the arrest of the top executive of Binance Holdings Limited, which is facing fraud allegations, Binance, a cryptocurrency exchange platform, was accused of exploiting the Nigerian currency Naira, leading to its free fall in value. The company is, in addition, facing allegations of terrorism financing, money laundering, and tax evasion, amongst others, while the executives of the foreign firm were expected to appear before the House Committee on Financial Crimes, but they instead sent their lawyers to represent them. However, displeased with the development, the chairman of the House Committee, Obinna Jinja, declared that a warrant was issued for their arrest, while Binance counsel, Senator Ihenyen, explained that the executive could not appear because they were in custody, and pleaded with the committee to accord the company ample time to appear before it, noting that two top shots of Binance who arrived in the country last week were arrested by the Office of National Security Advisor. House of Representatives is set to issue a warrant of arrest on the executive members of Binance Group, owners of cryptocurrency platform, who were absent at the investigative hearing held at Monday on National Assembly. The chairman of the Committee on Financial Crimes, Jinja Onwusibe, made the disclosure on Monday in Abuja during the investigative hearing against Binance Group over various allegations ranging from financing of terrorism, money laundering, tax evasion, amongst others, by the Niger Delta Council and Environment for Unemployed Youths Initiative. The House, through its Committee on Financial Crimes, had issued an invitation twice to Binance Group, but had legal representatives, which, according to the committee, is against the norms of the Parliament. No executive member of the group was present at the hearing on Monday. According to the legal representatives of Binance, Senator Ihenyen, the inability of the executive members to appear before the House Committee was due to the arrest of two executive members of Binance by the National Security Advisor and are still in custody, hence the reason for their absence before the committee.
The situation that Binance had been faced with, particularly in the last 7 days, had forced a very, very difficult situation on it. What has happened, Mr. Chairman, is that two Binance executives who came into the country were arrested by another Nigerian authority, specifically the National Security Advisor Office. And since then till date, these two Binance executives are still in custody. For this reason, it has been difficult, extremely difficult, for the global board of Binance to mobilize other executive members of the company to Nigeria, because there is genuine concern about their safety and security. And so this is the situation that we have been forced to contend with.
House to issue a warrant of arrest on the management of Binance. Chairman of the committee, Onwusibe, who put the motion to voice vote, which was adopted, noted that the Green Chambers will issue a warrant of arrest on Binance over various allegations leveled against them, ranging from financing of terrorism, tax evasion, amongst others.
Report back to the House so that the House may invoke its constitutional power to subpoena Binance to be brought before it so that it may answer these questions for Nigerians. I believe we are just dragging our feet. Binance is not here. You have written, you have given us the synopsis. Mr. Chairman, let's do the proper thing. Let the House take leadership of this issue. Let Nigerians be in the forefront of what is going on. There's nobody better than the House. I so move.
Recommend to the House of Reps to invoke its powers, its constitutional powers, by issuing a subpoena and also issuing a warrant for Binance executives to be arrested and brought to this committee to answer these questions. Questions relating to financing of terrorism, money laundering, and other financial crimes as stated in the petition, including evasion of tax. That's the position of this committee. Binance has been operating in the financial space of this country for more than 6 years now, and they have no less than 20 million Nigerians on their platform they exploited.
And on to other stories, the Ministry of Women Affairs said it has plans to unveil the mobile court for violence against women and children, Nigeria for Women project, and the Integrity Brigade, which cut across the civil society groups, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and media to help regulate governments and NGOs on decisions making to better Nigeria. The Ministry of Women Affairs, the Minister for Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Kennedy, said this while briefing newsmen in Abuja.
Integrity Brigade will make sure that monies are pushed to A. If it is not pushed to A, Integrity will come out and inform Nigerians what is going on. Integrity Brigade will make sure that we won't be having protests and all kinds of things to distract the government. Rather, they will fight for Nigerians by themselves through their medias and so many other peaceful means of achieving it. And I can assure you, if anyone is trying to do whatever that is not okay for the nation, and when we come out and face that person, the person will not do it. We will leave people that are doing things and be facing the government when there are people behind some of the things that are happening. If you are the person making such wrong decisions, we come after that person without disrupting our country. Because at the end of the day, when we protest and do all sorts of things, the people that still end up suffering are the vulnerables, the less privileged, and the rural people. They are the ones that are suffering. So if we want to save Nigeria, why should we be doing things that will suffer our poor people? Insecurity today, the poor are the ones suffering it. So the Integrity Group is there to save Nigeria, to encourage Nigerians to save Nigeria, to encourage the federal government in carrying out its duties in a way that we will not allow any individual to frustrate the efforts of the federal government that will favor the masses. So that is what the major things that we are doing on the 7th, which is very important that you people lead the road, that they will be at the front of the whole thing. Onset, allow the poor to breathe. That Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is giving to Nigerians by signing for a restructured Nigeria for Women project, restructured one, so that help coming for women will go directly to the vulnerable women and the rural women. Money, marriage, and so many other things is part of it. Number 3, the president endorsed a mobile court to address violence, the mild and minor issues on violence against women and children. And the Nigerian Forum endorsed it too. So it's part of what we are celebrating, and on that 7th of March 2024, we will get it. So it's part of what we are unveiling. There is Nigeria for Women project, restructured, That is part of what the president is unveiling. And then the most important is the Integrity Brigade, which all of you are joining, and most Nigerians will equally volunteer to come in. So many Nigerians have volunteered. They are coming in. The royal fathers across our nation, the religious leaders, both Muslim and Christian, they are equally coming and joining the Integrity Brigade. What will the Integrity Brigade do? They want to make sure that every decision that will be made concerning Nigeria must be the one that will benefit Nigerians.
And now, on to some business reports. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo advised that Nigeria should approach the government of Zimbabwe for a solution to the current all-time high inflation in the country. He said since Zimbabwe was recently confronted with the same problems and came out of it, the Southern African country will have useful advice for Nigeria. The National Bureau of Statistics put Nigeria's inflation at 29.9%, stressing that the country is currently grappling with the high cost of living, with pockets of protests breaking out across the country as Nigerians contend with the increasing prices of foodstuffs. Obasanjo said at a youth leadership symposium as part of activities lined up for his 87th birthday that Nigeria had Zimbabwe to learn from, and that the times of challenges were not to give up but to face the problems head-on and draw lessons from those who encountered similar problems in the past and overcame. Obasanjo also posited that dialogue, not guns or any form of violence, will help resolve the various conflicts of the African continent, and also advised the federal government to have conscious efforts to build and inculcate a culture of peace and security in the youth must be intensified to spur them to be at the vanguard of promoting peace rather than being used to perpetrate violence on the continent. African Development Bank Board of Directors has approved $134 million for Nigeria to implement an emergency food production plan. Bank President Akinwumi Adesina said that talks are also ongoing for a $1.7 billion economic and budget support loan, as well as the launch of a $1 billion agro-industrial processes in 28 states. The development came amidst a biting food shortage that has led to the hunger protests in Nigerian states, and most recently attacks on grain warehouses in Abuja, Ogun, Niger, and Kaduna states, while the weak consumer purchasing power has affected businesses, with the nation recording weak gross domestic growth during the last quarter of the last year. However, the African Development Bank had pledged to support Nigeria through this period, stressing that a number of agric initiatives should yield about 5 million metric tons of wheat, rice, cassava, maize this year for the country, and exuded confidence that the Development Bank would work with Nigerian government to proffer solutions to the problems confronting Nigeria's biggest economy. Also, the African Development Bank is planning to launch this year a program for $1 billion special agro-industrial processes in 28 states, adding that it will these structural interventions will make agriculture more productive, effective, and competitive. Bua Cement said it failed in its initial plan to sell the commodity for a fixed price of 3,500 naira per 50 kilograms bag across the country. The company said that the plan was hindered by the market forces and the clarification game following the 7-day deadline issued to the company by 2 civil society groups demanding the sale of cement at 3,500 naira per bag, or they will picket the company. The company asserted that it's indeed honored that promise, but Kabir said that Bua was unable to maintain the discounted price of 3,500 naira, as the intermediaries and the wholesalers prevented the intended recipients, the end users, from accessing the reduced price. You're watching Atlantic Television Network. You're watching Atlantic Television Network on the Transition News, and still ahead, international tidbits. The UN team has concluded that there are reasonable grounds to believe sexual violence, including rape and gang rape, was committed during the Hamas attack in Israel on 7th of October 2023. They also said that there was convincing information that hostages had been subjected to sexual violence. The trip was led by Pramila Pratin, the UN Special Representative on Sexual Violence on Conflicts, and Hamas has denied its government sexually assaulted women during the attacks. The mission team found that there have been reasonable grounds to believe that the conflict-related sexual violence occurred in multiple locations during the 7th October attacks. Hamas government infiltrated southern Israel on 7th of October, killing about 1,200 people and taking about 253 others hostage, while Israel responded by launching a military campaign in Gaza, during which 30,500 people have been killed. The UN report also described reports of sexual violence against Palestinians in Israeli custody, including unwanted touching of intimate areas and prolonged forced nudity. While no instances of rape against Palestinians were reported, conservative cultural norms could be impeded reporting of sexual assault. South Korea spy agency says North Korean hackers have broken into South Korean chip equipment makers. The National Intelligence Service said that Pyongyang is trying to make semiconductors for its weapons programs, and it is now a month after the President Yoon Suk Yeol warned North Korea may stage provocations such as cyber attacks to interfere with upcoming elections, adding that Pyongyang's efforts could be driven by the need for chips for its weapons programs, including satellites and missiles. The NIS believes that North Korea penetrated the servers of two chip equipment companies in December and February, stealing product designs and photographs of their facilities, and also warned other companies in the chip-making industry to take precautions against cyber attacks. However, the spy agency did not name the firms affected or suggest that North Korea was still able to obtain anything of value, and said South Korean companies had been a key target of North Korean hackers since late last year, while it believes the hackers employed a technique called living off the land, which minimizes malicious codes and uses existing legitimate tools installed within servers, making it difficult to detect with security software. The World Health Organization chief said that children are dying of starvation in northern Gaza. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that the agency's visit to Al-Awda and Kamal Adwan hospitals were the first since early October. A lack of food resulted in the deaths of 10 children and severe levels of malnutrition, while the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza reported on Sunday that at least 15 children had died from malnutrition and dehydration at the Kamal Adwan hospital. The UN warned last week that famine in Gaza was almost inevitable, while a senior UN aid official warned that at least 576,000 people across Gaza Strip, 1/4 of the population, faced catastrophic levels of food insecurity, and 1 in 6 children under the age of 2 in the north were suffering from acute malnutrition. However, aid agencies have said that these drops, which have also previously been carried out by the UK, France, Egypt, and Jordan, are on an inefficient way of getting supplies to people, and Israel said that the tanks fired warning shots but did not strike the lorries, and that many of the dead were trampled or run over by more than 30,500 people, mostly women and children, and have been killed in Gaza since then. China has set an ambitious growth target of around 5% for this year, and as it outlined a series of measures aimed at boosting its flagging economy. Premier Lee Kuan made this announcement at the opening of the annual National People's Congress, while Lee acknowledged that China's economic performance has faced difficulties, adding that many of these had yet to be resolved. It comes as China struggles to reinvigorate its once booming economy, stressing that other measures to help tackle the country's slow recovery from the pandemic were also announced, including the development of new initiatives to tackle problems in the country's crisis-hit property sector. Beijing also aims to add 12 million jobs in urban areas. Regulation of financial markets will also be increased, and Premier Lee, while research will be stepped up in new technologies, including artificial intelligence and the life sciences. Along with measures to boost the economy, defense spending will be increased by 7.2% this year. Now on to sports. Chippa United goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali said that he will take into consideration before deciding his next club. Nwabali has attracted the interest of a number of clubs in Asia and South Africa in recent months following his impressive displays for Chippa United, and gained more popularity with his 5-star showing at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano also said that Saudi Arabia Professional League club Etihad and Sky Bet's championship club Queen's Park Rangers are on the trail for the shot-stopper and has a contract with Chippa United until 2025. Chelsea has identified 2 managers to replace Mauricio Pochettino next season. According to the UK Guardian, the Blues co-owner Todd Boehly are looking to shop a Sporting boss Ruben Amorim and Brighton's Roberto De Zerbi, and Amorim has heavily impressed the Chelsea hierarchy with this team that currently sits top of the table in Portugal ahead of Benfica and Porto. De Zerbi, on the other hand, has received a lot of accolades for his work at Brighton since he replaced Graham Potter in 2022, while Chelsea are struggling under Pochettino in his first season at Stamford Bridge, despite the club having spent well over £1 billion since the takeover of Burnley and Clear Lake Capital. This season, they had a golden opportunity to win a trophy when they took on Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, but ended up losing the match late in extra time. Falconets head coach Chris Danjuma has named his squad for the 13th African Games. 20 players, including captain Oluchi Ohebula and midfielder Ado Mina and striker Chiamaka Okuchukwu, were named in the squad. Stalwarts like goalkeeper Faith Omilana, Olushola Shobowale and Chioma Olise will also make the cut, and the Falconets are in Group B alongside Morocco, Senegal and Cameroon. Nigeria won the gold medal in the women's football event on the 12th African Games that took place in Rabat, Morocco in October 2019. And next is entertainment news. South African artist Black Coffee has recounted how his estranged wife, Ele Mbali's ungrateful reaction to an expensive car he bought for her during her marriage left him disappointed. Grammy-winning DJ said that after presenting his gift to his woman, the reaction he got was unexpected, adding that the event made him feel as though his efforts were not valued or appreciated. Recall that Black Coffee and Mbali's marriage ended in 2019 after she accused the record producer of infidelity and abuse, while the We Dance Again DJ father took children with other women while the couple was married. And that's the size of the package. And thanks for joining us. I am Raymond Ken Mbata, and you can still follow us on our social media platforms. On Twitter, it's on Atlantic TV Network. Atlantic TV Net, and Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, and Instagram, Atlantic TV Network. And peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for viewing.